after making a deal with a group of hags to gain information on the whereabouts of a certain dwarf that Yarrow knew, who apparently had information on Caffey and Orson, the toy shopkeeper that you guys still haven't met. You guys went to the inn where he was staying, had found it basically being ransacked by a red cap and some of those Favelin, who are these weird goblinoid creatures with the heads twisted upside down that some of the party has already dealt with in the past. Upon killing all of them, you find Boris. Yeah, it is Boris. Tied up in a back room. Turns out that they basically tied him up more like it basically looked like they were looking for something. After freeing him, there was some questioning. Eventually, you guys find out that Boris had found out a way to remove Yarrow's curse. Um, and that he was going to help you do that. You guys agreed to this, or Yara did, and everybody kind of went along with it. Um, I think you guys found out some stuff about Yarrow, like how she spent some time in a bottle for a while. Yeah. Eventually, though, he basically told you guys that in order to do the ritual required to reverse whatever happened to Yarrow, they needed to find what is called a nexus point, which is like a location that is basically just heavily magically powered, like a ritual spot, which he led you to a sort of old abandoned catacomb within the city that went deep underground and found this strange looking cathedral that was apparently used by necromancers at one point, but abandoned. The place was decorated with a lot of skulls and skeletal body parts, and in front of, at the other end of the main entrance, when you guys got in, there was a literal tree made of bones above an altar. Um, Canis saw some weird shadows for a second when you guys first entered, but after that, Boris got the ritual going, had Yarrow get into the circle, and upon activating the ritual, bolts of shadow magical electrical energy began to shoot around Yarrow and the circle and basically bound her in place. All of you were essentially pushed back, and Yarrow started to kind of scream in pain as to her, it felt like she was literally being torn in half. Um, then, in the middle of this, before you guys could really like jump in or do anything, uh, some familiar creature, or one familiar face showed up. A large horse-like monster, or monster with a horse-like head that you guys had faced before, the one that had killed Barnabas, had appeared out of his invisibility, along with a group of Favelin who were traveling with him. A combat ensued, um, which had a bunch of, like, in the middle of this ritual happening, all that magical power had called a couple of specters from the grave into this chamber, um, and they got into the fight. But after a pretty hectic fight and a lot of people taking a lot of damage, you guys eventually managed to kill the strange fey-like horse creature again. Um, and each time you killed one of these like one of the fey or this guy, they would die, and then their bodies would crumble into piles of dead leaves, basically leaving no real remains. Boris, after taking enough damage, had decided that this wasn't worth it, had pulled out a scroll and teleported the fuck out of there before you guys could get to him. Um, this had managed to basically send the ritual into overload, and the dark tendrils that were like sort of moving around Yarrow began to wrap around in a sort of cocoon around her. Something happened while she was in there. The party's not really sure. All you know is that after some time of basically trying to figure out how the hell to get into this thing and get her out, the cocoon suddenly fell apart on itself, and Yarrow appeared. Slightly more fey looking than she had before. Um, some of her features were a little bit more sharper, like the wings, instead of having sort of like butterflies usually have that sort of like rounded edges on their wings. These became more jagged, and in her pink hair, she had grown these sort of thin, sort of thorn-like quills that had grown through her hair, kind of giving her this cool, like black highlights in her pink hair. Her ears had extended a little bit longer, but she basically became even more fey-like, and she had apparently whatever mental block was keeping her from using her wings to fly had apparently gone away, and Yarrow is now capable of flying. After all this, you guys had left the temple, had gone to the surface, and then the party had kind of split, with most of the party going back to the toy shop for the night, and then Octavius and Canis were splitting off to meet with someone that Octavius knew, like a friend. And that is... Well, actually, no, we're not going to pick up there because I forgot to do a cutscene at the end of last session. Last session was hectic, so I forgot to do something. But we are going to pick up with a cutscene of a dark chamber. Not lit currently. Looks to be maybe a magical study of some kind. There's a telescope in one end, a shelf at the other. In the center of this chamber, there is suddenly a flash, and a dwarvish figure appears, kind of taking deep breaths, kind of like out of breath and a little tired. Boris, who had teleported away back to basically a hideout of some kind. As he looks around, trying to catch his breath, he begins cursing. Damn it. That was not supposed to go like that. Kind of gets up, shaking off some of the damage that had been dealt to him. And he goes over to one of the cabinets, after kind of like moving his hands across some of these little magical crystals to the side that kind of light up the room. He goes to one of his cabinets, and he opens it, revealing shelves, each one with a number of bottles on them. As he grabs two of them out of there, inside, one of them is what would have been a tall person, but is now very small, a female furbolg that some of you would recognize as Kathy. And in the other, a not familiar person, someone you have not met, what looks to be a humanoid, but with small goat-like horns protruding from his head and hooved feet. A very sort of like a chin strap beard, but like big curly hair. As he looks down at them, he's like, "We need to have another conversation." And that is where that scene was supposed to end. And that is where we're going to pick up where the party was splitting off 2 weeks ago, with Octavius and Canis. Octavius and Canis. God damn it, I'm just... Ava, God. Your character always looks like she's talking. Anyway.
Yeah, I was drinking some water and it opened the mouth in a weird way.
Anyway, Octavius and Canis, you split off from the party.
So, where's this friend of yours?
Oh, he was supposed to be at a in town.
Alright, well, hopefully it's not too far.
I don't know.
So the inn that you guys have been staying at, let me move you guys to the, don't remember if I put it in the notes. Did I put it in the notes? Ah, yes. The inn that you and your friend had been staying at was the Traveler's Rest, which sits within the Waterside district.
Oh, the Waterside
Which-
district's not too far.
Yeah, it takes you guys like maybe this late at night with as little food, because it's by the time you guys got out from underneath the Undercroft, it was probably close to 11 in the evening. So you guys get there maybe within like 15, 20 minutes, but you eventually do come to a rather simple looking inn, with the Traveler's Rest sitting on the sign, and it just kind of has a sign of what looks to be a horse kind of like laying on the ground and about to go to sleep, essentially.
Do you know which room he's staying in?
He got the room first, but I can ask at the bar if we need her front desker.
I mean, there aren't really. It would. Roommate. Yeah, you would know.
Sure, roommate.
Yeah, that's essentially where you got kidnapped from. So you guys enter. There's like a little check-in desk. There's a humanoid, human man, kind of slightly balding, kind of just sitting there. He watches you as you enter, but you kind of like turn to go up the stairs to a second floor, which is where the room's at, and he kind of just goes back to his book, just assuming that you guys are like have a room here or something. He's not questioning shit. It's late
Is this
at
place
night.
a shithole?
No, it's not like the fanciest place, but it's not like a shithole. It's like just decent. It's like a normal inn.
I'm sorry, but they don't ask for room keys. That's shady to me.
This isn't a fucking Holiday Inn, okay? Oh.
Octavia. Start moving to the back where the rooms are.
All right. Doesn't take long. You eventually do reach the door for room number 8.
Octavius like kind of softly knock 3 times.
Hopefully he's not a light sleeper.
As you knock, you do hear movement from the other side of the room. As the door opens, Will describe Josiah.
So he looks awfully similar to Octavius, besides the fact that he has about a foot on him in height. He has golden hair. With Josiah, he kind of lets it hang over like part of his face, so you can kind of see half his face. He's wearing kind of silvered glasses. Unlike Octavius, he's kind of a little bit more built. He's wearing, it looks like, chain underneath, like some traveler's clothes, with a very kind of like shiny, like attractive looking, almost looks like more ceremonial, like sort of sword, as well as a large shield on his back. And as soon as he sees Octavius, he would, "Oh my God, you're alive!" and give him a gigantic hug.
I assume Octavius probably hug him back because he hasn't seen.
Yeah, don't roleplay with myself, but yeah.
Yeah, it's like okay, Octavius is now officially an NPC.
I assume that the kid is some relation to you. We found him in unfortunate circumstances, and well, he obviously wanted to come back here, so
Then I can't thank you enough, and he'll offer out a handshake.
I'll shake his hand and kind of be like, I'm Canis, by the way.
Josiah. Sorry, Octavius. I'd assumed the worst. I was thinking about going back to break in. Regardless of that, so how did you end up here? Who took you?
Okay, I don't know how to roleplay Octavius.
Generic child.
Yeah, generic child. Okay. Yeah. Some guys just broke in and took me. They were making me translate scrolls and tablets for them, until these guys showed up and they helped me escape.
Clearly, more people are searching than we might have before thought. Regardless, you're safe now, and that's how it's gonna stay. Friend, you are more than welcome to make yourself comfortable in our room if you want to for the night.
I have a place with friends. Although it is pretty late.
I can't tell. Are you actually looking around your room, or is that like you playing a character actually looking down like the hall?
Yeah, I was like looking down the hall.
And as you look down the hall, you kind of have to take a double take. There's someone standing at the end of the hall.
Who is it?
You see a figure in a red cloak with an ivory cat mask.
My hand is gonna go right to the hilt of my sword. I'm gonna draw it and turn down the hallway, kind of like pointing it down the hallway.
Josiah, like, as you were drawing it, like, mirrored quickly, like, as you reach for your sword, but as you look down the hallway, he's gonna, like, step out to look.
As you both look down the hallway, as you're, like, getting ready to pull out your weapons, pretty much already ready for this, he seems to just raise one of his hands, and you see that same sort of dark black sickle Canis that you had saw before, and suddenly there's the... well, actually, I need both... Actually, all three people. What was Octavius's, I need everyone to make a wisdom save. What was Octavius's, wisdom?
Fuck, man. I want to say +2,
All right.
but
I mean, yeah, just like ballpark it.
yeah, +2.
Oof.
Five minutes, Turkey.
Taking a while to load.
You know how it be.
Yeah. Dang. So, as you guys begin to pull out your weapons, suddenly, almost like coming out of mid-air, like out of the walls in the room, there are these golden ethereal threads that suddenly shoot out and begin to wrap all around all of you. As they begin to tighten, they turn from a gold to a crimson red. And everyone, Josiah had just failed with a 17, is now restrained in the hallway.
That's the
As
ones.
the figure begins to move forward. You know, I am so glad to see that you have survived the... oh god, what was that? Oh yeah, I didn't have an accent with them. I am so glad to see that you survived. But I'm afraid that little Octavius is going to have to come with me again. He's not quite done with his work. As he
Don't
kind of
fucking touch him!
moves past you guys and grabs Octavius. The threads that were attaching him to the wall kind of like separate from the wall but wrap around him, kind of basically tying him up. Each of you can go ahead and make another save as he essentially gets to. Damn, like, just failed again. Yeah, you guys keep fighting against, but you're still restrained there, and you just watch as this figure sets a hand on Octavius' shoulder, looks at both of you. Perhaps we'll meet again. And both of you get this sense of vertigo, one that Canis and Octavius have felt before, as both Canis, Octavius and this figure suddenly vanish. But it leaves a weird headache in both your heads, like your brain, like two memories of them being there and not being there at the same time. Like your head gets almost like two different timelines collapsed into each other, and your brain is having trouble processing it. But after a while, you kind of shake it off. With him gone, the threads eventually fall apart, and both of you are left there in the hallway.
I shouldn't have brought him back here. Fuck!
Josiah like falls down to his knees because you like the no.
I'm gonna put my hand on his shoulder. We'll find him.
Like he stares at the ground angrily, like for a second, like trying to like come up with something to do with himself, and then like abruptly stands up. Yes, act quickly. Something.
I have friends. They were friends with Ox too. Why don't I take you to meet them? They can help you.
Kind of grimaces and then nods slowly.
I'm gonna keep my hand on my sword hilt the whole way back to the toy shop, but I'll lead the way for Josiah.
All right. Doesn't take long, maybe a 15-minute walk again, because you guys are staying at the Grand Market essentially. Eventually, walking in silence, you make it to the front of the toy shop. Well, while they're doing that, we're going to go back to the rest of the group as you had split off. Well, at this point, this is basically Yarrow, Casimir, and Eddie return to the toy shop to find Atanez is back. The reason you guys haven't seen him for probably a day or so, because when he got his little promotion to Inquisitor, he didn't realize just how much paperwork was involved. Like, he had to go through like a whole seminar thing, and it was just a thing. So that's what he's been doing for the past like couple days. Oh, by the way, Atanez, by morning your sword will be ready. It's been a couple days, so you're gonna get your sword back.
Yes. I hate bureaucracy. So
Yeah. But as you guys get back, you see Atanez has returned. And you are all just, like, have just gotten back from a very bad night.
Hey guys, what are you doing here? Where are you? I've been waiting here a while.
He's been waiting, he says. Oh, so sorry for make you wait. Just like dead on the face. Eddie is just dead on the face.
Right, Eddie, as always I see, but why are you with the long face like this? What happened?
If I knew, I would explain. But I don't know. So I can't explain. But I know it was fucked.
Alright, so just another day for us, right?
even for us, it was quite strange.
That is bad.
Indeed.
Right, well, I guess, so where are we staying tonight? I go back to the toy shop, to the inn, where?
Oh, you're at the toy shop right now.
Yeah, just
Oh,
point around us. We're at the toy shop, like right here.
no, I thought I thought I would be staying like outside waiting for them. That's why I
Oh
would set
yeah.
it like.
Oh yeah. Like if he, like it depends on like would he be waiting outside or inside? I'm gonna leave that up to you.
Yeah, like I would be outside. That's why I would like
Okay.
asking the question, like if we were staying at the toy shop or somewhere.
Is Yarrow walking or flying?
I am flying, definitely.
Alright. Adana, as you see Yarrow flying.
Look at Dennis.
Hi,
Turns
yeah.
out I'm not a human.
You know, I do like the pointing, like the finger, like come here, like yeah, come here, please, quick, come down.
Yarrow obeys. Kinda moves quicker. Like, look at it, Dennis. And they're shiny. And look at my hair. Look at these new things. Isn't it cool?
It is okay, yeah, it is very cool, but not go inside and stop flying in public.
But they're so pretty. But yeah.
I know, yeah, they are very pretty. It's very cool. I really like it, but some people may not like it, and some people may like it too much that they will like to take them from you. So just stay inside and stop flying in public, please. It's for your own safety. Okay? Just
You're right.
when it's just us, you can do as much flying as you want, but in public like that, be careful, okay?
I will be. Thank you, Dennis.
Alright.
She kind of puts the wings down and puts her hood up again, just hides before going inside the toy shop.
No.
And just removing the cape and going haywire in the toy shop, just flying.
Oh, yeah. Which is like slightly more
I told you,
weird,
I told-
because one of the downsides to becoming more Fey is that you were originally 18 inches tall. When you became more like a fairy, you actually shrunk a little bit more. You're probably closer to 15 inches now. So you lost about, like, that much height.
Well, I point at Yarrow. It's like, I told you it was fucked, didn't I? Didn't I just say it was fucked? And his voice just keeps climbing, and he's just like starting to get hysterical.
Everybody, calm down. Let's just calm down, take a deep breath, and tell me what happened.
I just like shake my head, just move my shoulders up and walk inside.
Right, by the way, where is Canis and the little
Dennis
guy?
left we talked. I don't know where they were going, but they had something important to do.
All right, well, let's just get comfortable inside and get some rest. And Eddie, try to, calm down if you can.
Eddie's just hyperventilating.
Casimir just kind of like last one, and it basically, while everyone's getting it, just to like not have to roleplay the entire explanation of what happened, Casimir will essentially be the one to give you the download of what the fuck happened.
Got it. Yeah.
But as you guys are getting up there, kind of like getting settled, you hear the door open and close below as Canis and someone you haven't met before enter the shop and begin to head up the stairs to the second floor.
Now,
Do you
I
see, like,
want to warn you, Josiah, before you meet them, some of them are kind of strange, but I promise you, if anyone can help you, it's these people. I don't know that people is the right word.
Interesting description.
I think, yeah, you'll know what I mean when. Hey guys, it's Canis.
Right, coming up, Kenny, so we are all
Oh,
here.
fuck.
Barnabas was just asking about you, Canis, and about Oct. Where's Oct?
Who's Barnabas?
Hatanas were just asking for you.
Yeah, when you didn't come back from going to see the Inquisition, I figured maybe you had left.
No, I'm right here. And like he shows like proudly his brand new like Inquisitor badge or whatever it is.
Yeah, it kind of looks like a pen. Like if anyone's ever seen Game of Thrones, they have like those council members have those like weird sort of medieval-looking pen things that they wear. Something like it basically looks like that, except the symbol on it is a flaming sword.
Oh, good lord. Guys, this is Josiah. One of those fuckers that killed Namir showed up. They took Ox.
I mean the mask guy.
Yeah, this one had a cat mask.
So, question: does anything on Atnaz look vampiric right now?
No, I would have like my mask and my like fully cloaked and just like the
Yeah, he
and
looks more
Gotcha.
like a rogue
Yeah.
yeah,
with an
exactly.
Inquisition symbol on.
Cool.
It will come later.
I would say, as you do, Hunter, because you're like a new person, you would probably get slightly bombarded by a very large dog that is like, "You're new. Oh, this is awesome."
He's like pushing it up and trying to like fend it off of him.
Sorokva,
Yeah,
come here.
I'm gonna
Sorokva.
pull out some
You
smoked
see this
meats
very
from my.
small figure trying to take control of this
I
dog.
would pull some smoked meats out of my bag to give to Sorotva, try to get him off of Josiah.
He like instantly sees that, jumps for it, and like when he gets it and pulls away from your hand is now covered in slobber.
Oh, that's great. I'm just gonna kind of slap the slobber off of my hand.
So, you all want to help Octavius?
Hell, what happened to Octavius?
He was taken.
Canis!
Hold on, it's not set up
I
right.
thought you went to take him to his. What are you? You look very much like him, but I don't like. Are you
Close friend.
to his friend? How did he get taken?
It was one of those cultists, those cat mask things.
Well, specifically, this was a guy you had met before when you guys were trying to get. Oh God, I'm forgetting names.
That we put on the bridge, right?
Yeah, the one you guys fought when you were trying to rescue. My brain is dead. How am I forgetting the guy that I've been? God, I spent a year planning the shit that was gonna happen to him. How am I forgetting his fucking name?
Namir.
Amir?
Yes, Jesus fucking Christ, my brain just died there. Yes, the guy who was basically stopping you from getting to Namir, who was like teleporting around and was basically fighting you, and then disappeared after the fight before the entire place collapsed. It was pretty much, as far as you could tell, the same guy.
Canis, you said you'd fought these people before. Who are they?
It's kind of how we met Ox. I mean, I honestly don't know who they are. I've seen fucked up shit that has masks of animals, and it seems like it's some kind of cult. The Inquisition is involved, but I would say maybe a week ago
The Inquisition?
we were kidnapped by these people they killed one of our friends, and yeah.
My God.
Yaro looks very sad when Kenny says that they killed one of her friends.
Do you know anything about them? Where they might be? What they're doing?
I feel like, honestly, these people, whoever they are, they're like several steps ahead of us. So far, we haven't gathered any information. We haven't. I. Well, I don't know. Atanas, you just got back from meeting with Malrin. Did you figure anything out?
Not about this cult, unfortunately. He wouldn't.
Nothing that you want to tell us, I'm sure.
Well, if I had some information, I would share it with you guys. But guys, this seems to be a big threat. But Malrang either doesn't want to share information or doesn't know anything about them. Which the first option seems to me the right one. But right now he's more focused about the necromancer that set foot in the city a few days back from that ship that crashed in the harbor. And yeah, that's his main concern right now. So, by the way, is any of you heard of the Whispered One?
The what?
The whisper?
Would Eddie know him as that name, DM?
Everyone, or I would say everyone except for Yara, because she was locked in a bottle for most of her childhood. Make a religion check.
I thought we'd like somebody had mentioned it.
Eddie knows. Editor's white as a sheet and starts shaking.
This makes sense because Eddie actually wouldn't have to. When you guys were at Jaeger's Call, you had gone into the library there, and Eddie had found some information on like Zorzarian stuff and death cults, and one of them was a cult to a person known as the Whispered One, who was apparently some sort of ancient necromancer from like before the building of the empire, back like before the gods went into a civil war with each other, like basically prehistory, like ancient history. This guy had apparently conquered half of Zorzair in a death cult and had at some point ascended to some form of undead godhood. After that, though, history kind of just... After he ascended, he kind of just became obscure, and at this point, the only people that really know, or like the only real mentions of him are like a couple of necromancers who seem to either worship him or at least trying to copy whatever he did to become a deity or sort of semi-god. Basically, he's a god of undeath and secrets. He's not known for being a good person. Thumbs up. But yeah, that's basically the Whispered One.
Has Eddie shared information with the group, or you?
Oh no, Eddie is white as a sheet, shaking, just violently shaking.
Canis and Josiah would also know this information from the checks they did.
I'm gonna kind of like look at Atanas and be like, and why do you want to? It's like obscure lore.
Remember that symbol that was on the bottom of the ship and created that green flame that burned the whole ship and also created those undead? Well, that symbol belonged to the Whispered One.
Well, that makes
So whomever
sense
was on that
because the
ship,
Whispered One is a kind of god of undeath. It's all very obscure lore from prehistory. I mean, not something that. Is this what Malrind was talking to you about?
yes, he did not mention the god of undead. He just said the Whispered One, and that whomever was on that ship was one of his followers. But he was pretty, I wouldn't say scared yet, but very concerned with it.
We need to get the fuck out of here. We need to get. It just starts chanting under, like, softly. We need to get the fuck out of here. We need to get the fuck out of here.
Josiah, as far as you know, you would have heard of some event that happened a couple days ago at the northern harbor, where there was some kind of incident that involved green flames and some sort of weird magic, but outside of that, you would have heard about something happening, I'm just saying.
Did Octavius tell you anything while you were with him?
Honestly, he wasn't very talkative.
Yeah, he kept pretty much.
Oh, right, I forgot to yeah, when Ak had been kidnapped, when he had gotten to the room, he would have dropped his pack. He was kidnapped. When he was kidnapped, he left his backpack behind, so you would have been able to grab that with any of the stuff that he had on him. So you would have his notes.
Okay.
Yeah. You have a backpack full of whatever notes he wrote, and then, like, this strange scroll that seemed to be in the old tongue that he was translating.
I'm beginning to put together what might have happened.
Right, and you said you're an old friend of him, correct?
Yes.
And where exactly do you meet, and what exactly do you do, if I may be so bold?
Sorry, did you ask where we met?
Yeah, I mean, just how do you see you're a close friend of Octavius, and I just want to know, like, where you met and you know, how you came to be so close.
Well,
I'm very curious. If you didn't say that, you don't need to answer.
He's an inquisitor. I would be careful with anything you say to him.
he's well within his right, and I don't imagine
the formal inquisitor.
I don't imagine this would put too much strain on me as far as the Inquisition goes.
You look like you're having a seizure. Alright, I'm just... Yep, continue.
I'll just turn it on when I'm talking.
Well, we met when we became part of a I guess you could call it a family, but more of a house. I was his mentor for a time, until I encouraged him and a few others to leave with me. Right now, we're seeking an ancient ruin that is supposed to house a vast, vast wealth of information, ancient knowledge, spells, who knows. I reckon whoever took Octavius is also looking for the same thing.
When we found him originally, he was locked in a room transcribing some kind of weird language, so that tracks.
Ancient Valachian.
Right. That's the weird language.
Of course.
Do you speak it or read it as well?
Yes, and well, I have this scroll, and he'll take out the scroll that Octavius had.
Yeah.
He'll, like, go ahead and just, like, read it aloud to the group.
Alright, I believe I have it in your notes. Yeah, it should be in your notes. Like your journal.
Yeah, trying to pull it up.
It seems to be like cut off near the beginning and the end, but there is like a single sentence that is complete.
So it says the second keystone was to be gifted to the Lord of Whispers and placed beneath a sea of shifting glass within a tomb of the sleepless dead.
Right, not ominous at all.
Snow. Snow.
We're all gonna die. We're all gonna die. We're all
Why
gonna
do
die.
these things always have to be riddles?
I guess the old civilization like to speak in riddles.
The new one too. I mean, it hasn't let up.
They enjoy testing your knowledge.
Josiah, I think. I mean, obviously, we're not going to be able to rescue Ox tonight, but if you want to come with us, we didn't know him for long, but I know I personally would like to help you find him.
I'd appreciate any help you could give. This will take the soul of my attention to rescue him, but do you all have a heading?
I think we just kind of finished a pretty big fight. We were probably gonna rest.
I could likely use that too. It's been a long day.
Alright, let's yeah, I think everybody, and I when I said that, I really turned to damn it, I forgot all the names tonight. To Eddie, who's probably still muttering and shivering and stuff, and say, okay, everybody, let's just take some rest tonight, and we'll assess the situation in the morning, and we can. I'm sure Canis will come up with a plan or something that we can all do to help find Octavius.
Atanas, can I talk to you?
Sure, no problem.
It's a little bit stuffy in here.
Private.
Let's go outside. Get some fresh air.
All right.
As you guys step outside.
Yara's gonna try to follow them.
Eddie's just shutting down in a corner.
Is Yaro trying to be stealthy?
No. Not really. She's just walking, kind of waddling behind them.
All right. As Candace, as you were leaving with Atanas, you see you hear little footsteps as Yaro is following you.
I won't say anything. I'll just head out with Atanas.
All right. Just real quick, Josiah, as you were like basically just kind of left there by yourself, kind of to get settled, you suddenly hear a voice and be like, "Oh, not another one!" And you look over and you see a living puppet with red hair looking at you from the other side of the room.
I did warn you that people was the wrong word.
He'll give her kind of a weird look, and then say, "How do you do?" But he'll say it in Sylvan.
Shit, I gotta check to see if she. I'm pretty sure she understands Sylvan.
She's like, man, that's racist.
She's from the Feywild.
Just saying.
Their kind are made by oh yeah, she does still speak Sylvan. They're one of the races from Grimhollow. They're made by Fey creatures, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they know Sylvan. They're kind of made to replace children that they kidnap. which no one has ever asked me. Yeah, so she actually does understand Sylvan, so she kind of just waves me like, alright, I'll see if I can find more room. And she seems to be kind of like, I guess at this point your guys is like housekeeper, I guess. She's just basically trying to be like as accommodating as possible while you're staying here. But as that is going on, back outside with Canis, Atanas, and Yarrow.
Did
Or to whatever room
come
you're
all the
going
way
to.
outside with us?
It's up to Yarrow.
Yep.
Alright, yeah.
Just walking behind you.
I'm gonna like look at Yarrow awkwardly, but like Atanas, I wanted to apologize.
For what?
I think by now, if you were truly loyal to the Inquisition and you wanted me dead, or if you had told Maurin that I was here, I don't think that we would be sitting in a random building in the middle of the night for the 7th night in a row. I think they would have taken me by now. I think I've been an ass to you, and I'm sorry.
Listen, guys, after you told me everything that happened between you and Malrang, there is no need to apologize. Plus, you know my story. You know exactly what I want to. Yes, the Inquisition rescued me when I was a little kid and made me who I am today, but you know that first and foremost, I yearn to kill my father. That is my number one objective, and if I need to burn down the Inquisition with it, probably not, because they will most likely help me, but my mission will always be to kill my father first.
Atanas, I know that, and I know you, but do you know me? You said that you saw my head in a jar. What the fuck am I?
Listen, I saw you ahead in a jar in Malrang's office. We know he's a twisted bastard. It could mean anything.
He could have made a clone of me or something.
Exactly. You know, it could very well be his magic illusion, whatever. I didn't touch it. I didn't even.
But
You know, I was in Malrang's office.
Casimir senses undeath on me.
Listen, we don't know what happened that night when you confronted Malrang. We don't know what he did to you. We don't know what kind of magic he's capable of using. You know how powerful those bastards are. They can pretty much do whatever they want. It is not unlikely that they did something to you that brought you to be some kind of undead nature, not completely dead, not yet completely alive, maybe in between, or maybe it's just a curse that you have on you. Who knows?
Well, and this is for both of you. I'm gonna kind of look toward Yarrow. I want you two to promise me.
Yara was just saying to her breath, like, it could be a curse.
I want you two to promise me. If you find out that I'm not Canis, that I'm some kind of thing, I want you to kill me.
No. But how?
It's a promise. But you know, Canis, you were, even if it was for a short time, you were part of my team, and you know the bond that united us at that time. Nothing will come in between.
But you would just kill him? Like, just like that?
He said,
Dennis, you're yourself, and it doesn't matter what whoever saw in a jar. You are you, and how can we kill you? You're our friend.
listen, Yarrow, he is not sure of what he is right now. And the Canis I knew before, I hope is still the same. But the people we're dealing with are extremely, extremely powerful, Yarrow, and they may have done something that could make him evil. We don't know. That's the only reason why he's asking me that. If and only if he were a danger to us or innocent people, I would not hesitate.
Then we fix him, like you guys fixed me.
Speaking of fixing, Atanas, we need to talk about the elephants in the room.
Which is,
I'm just gonna look at you like, come on, dude. Come on, dude.
Oh, Atanas, because you missed a couple sessions. It has been a couple days. You've gone 2 days without feeding.
God damn it.
That DC that was set at 10 is now at 12.
Of course.
Atanas, you just told me that I needed to trust you. And that I could trust you. So you need to trust us, okay? What is going on?
Athanasius genuinely doesn't know how to answer that. Like, what do you mean? What's going on?
Are you feeling the thirst right now?
If I'm completely honest, I'm feeling a bit thirsty, but I have it under control.
I'm gonna kind of like try to make eye contact with Yarrow, see if she's looking as skeptical as I am.
Yara is looking for something like a flask in her belongings to give to Athanas.
I love Yarrow. So innocent.
Promise me if you get the urge to bite one of us or to bite a random person again, you let me know.
I will.
I've known you for years and you've never had a problem with this. What happened?
I don't know if I told you this, or actually, if I don't know if I remember telling this to the group, but remember that night when I met you, and you and Nemir were, and the rest of the group were running away from people before we got transported to that mountain thing?
Right.
Well, I had been ordered to chase a group of vampire spawn that were in the city. And so I did. I found their lair. For some reason, there was a more powerful vampire than I expected, and we lost the fight, and it did something to me that some kind of ritual in a coffin and dropped me in a pool of blood, I guess.
What?
And when I got up, my thirst was greater than uncontrollable, something that I've never felt before.
And you didn't think to tell anybody? Or, I mean, hell, you work for the Inquisition. They probably have a cleric who can help you get rid of whatever this curse is.
Well, it's not really a curse. It made me what I am be more, in a way. It made me thirst more than. But when I fed, it all calmed down.
So,
it all went back to
what's
normal.
The plan? You're gonna feed on an innocent person every couple of days in order to calm yourself down?
Well, I had a plan of, going to the jail and find some criminal who were condemned to death and fed on them.
That's fucked up.
That doesn't seem like it's an okay thing to do.
It really does not. I just want to tell you, Atanas, as your friend, that's not okay. And I think that we should try to find a solution for this that's better than that.
Well, unless you find a willing creature who lets me feed a little bit on them here and there, I'm gonna have to feed at
what
some
about a
point.
cleric? There's nobody that can alleviate this?
Dennis, you know what I am. I need to feed regardless.
Have you tried other types of food?
It's not food. It's Yarrow. He
See how I can't. I just can't.
Yara is the perfect mix for this combo. Just
She
saying.
really is.
No.
Yeah, it would be way too dark if Yara wasn't here.
She's the light of the group.
And she's the shadow sorcerer.
Right? What the heck?
Anyway, I'm tired, Atanas. I'm gonna go to sleep. We had a pretty difficult day. I don't know where the hell you've
Yes, I
been,
have.
but
Well, you've been there. Paperwork as a newly appointed
we all know
inquisitor.
you were off getting
how it
drunk.
is. Well, that too. All right, let's get some rest, and in the morning we'll gather together and try to find a solution for.
I'm not gonna tell them, Atanas, but I think that you need to warn everybody exactly what's going on with you.
You know, I really think that I really thought I did. If I did not, I will definitely warn everybody.
I think by the time you had woken up, you guys were kind of in the whole middle of trying to save Namir, so I don't think you really had time, if I remember correctly.
I thought I
kinda
did
like one of
explain
the-
when I tried to bite.
Well, yeah, I think you
Damn
did
it.
do like a small explanation, but
Got it,
it was a
okay,
while
yeah.
ago. I think.
Yeah, no, that's why. Yeah, no problem.
But yeah, you guys head back upstairs. What's Josiah been doing this? Like, what's Eddie been doing? Just what have you guys been doing?
Catatonic. Eddie is catatonic.
All right, yeah.
I'm probably looking through Ox's journal.
Yeah, you see, basically whatever Ox would have written down. You would know. You play the character.
Yeah.
All right, so yeah, everybody gets back up. You see Eddie, kind of catatonic, kind of just sitting there.
I would go over and sit next to Eddie and probably end up falling asleep, propped up against the wall. But hopeful that keeping Eddie company would help make things better.
Eddie holds Kenneth's hand while he's asleep.
I think it's probably late as fuck now, so Canis would just pass the fuck out.
So the rest of the group kind of finds their places to sleep. There were some like extra rooms that were kind of like Clara, God, yeah, Clara, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, that sounds right, Clara.
Claire. God damn, my freaking ability to speak the English language is being just taken away at this point. Anyway, the puppet individual had basically made some makeshift areas for you guys to stay comfortably. You all fall asleep and finish a long rest. While sleeping, as this is going to be the third day without drinking now, Atanas, in the middle of the night, I want you to make a wisdom saving throw.
God damn you. No shit.
Alright. Oh god, yeah, that is... Yeah, you did fail more than by 5. Okay, so... In the middle of the night, while everyone is slumbering? For some reason, that doesn't sound
Sounds good.
Yeah, slumbering peacefully. You have a weird dream, Atanas. You see visions of moving through a dark street twisting between alleys. Another sort of flash as you go from an alley to climbing the side of a building and looking through the window of a sleeping individual. The next flash is standing over them, and in the moment that the hunger takes over and you feed, come morning, you have. Is vivid the right word? Yeah, vivid memories of, or of a dream, something like this. But for some reason, that thirst seems to have gone down. You're back down to an AC of 10 as your thirst has been quenched.
Awesome.
Yep.
What the fuck?
But come the next morning, you all wake up and finish a long rest.
I am the most fucked up character in this campaign, I swear.
You're the most fucked up character in every campaign.
That's
That's
potentially true.
debatable.
Yeah.
Well, I don't really know where to start for looking for Ox. And I feel like, well, we had a job for the Jaeger's call. I think that's the only lead that we really have for anything right now, if I'm not
You
mistaken.
guys had finished that job.
Oh, well, shit.
Yeah, the one to join them. I didn't. So as you guys are getting up and having breakfast, I'm gonna start loading up your journals with missions. So, first off is Canis. As you get up, begin to have your breakfast. I need to go in my notes and get the fucking name of that goddamn professor again. It was something long and stupid because I was an idiot and didn't make like a name that you could easily remember. Here we go. Okay, here's the notes. You hear the voice of Professor Gorngaroth, the orcish individual who's kind of like your like the college mentor type, the guy who's kind of like in charge of your teachings. Uh, Goodness, I hope your morning is going well. I would like for you to come by my office as soon as you can, or whenever you are free. No big hurry, but I have a job proposition for you and your mercenary friends. Um, Money is involved if it helps kind of get things going. And the message ends there. The second message that is being delivered is to Eddie. Eddie, out of nowhere in your head, you hear a message from Professor Grendelin, the deep gnome professor who had originally been looking at your amulet. Yes, Mr. Edward, I had made contact with my compatriot in Sorcer, and he has agreed to meet with you. Just come by the office whenever you are free, and we will schedule a meeting or get that going. I've always never figured out how to end these things, and he just kind of keeps going on until eventually he runs out of words for the spell.
I start looking around, but then I realized that it was happening in my head.
The next message to get delivered is to Atanas. But this isn't in your head. This is one of those magical sort of scrolls that you get that you can magically communicate sort of through this network with the Inquisition. And it is a message from the office of Lord Inquisitor Malrand. Apparently, there has been a body found in the Chapel Plaza. connected or believed to be connected with the incident at the North Harbor, and that the Inquisition is currently on site and being led by Inquisitor. I gotta find her name. Bree Simoni. After that message, actually, I just got. You know what? I'll just tell Will. Well, not really a message, but just a reminder. Your character was trying to get into the archive at some point, so basically, just wanted to make sure. My brain is. Yeah. Anyway, after those messages are delivered, and as you guys are kind of finishing up your breakfast and getting ready to go out into the day on whatever it is you choose, as you were going down the stairs, you hear a knock at the front door of the toy shop.
I'm not getting that.
Me
I'm
neither.
getting it.
All right, Atanas, you open the front door, and you would not recognize this face, but any of the other party members with you, except for Josiah, would recognize him. This is what looks to be a halfling fellow in a sort of butler-like suit. If anyone else is with Atanas, they would recognize this as the butler to Guildmaster Volko Hughes. Oh, it took me a while to track you down. Is this the group with, oh god, your group doesn't have a name, so I can't. I'm looking for the individuals known as, Casimir, Canas, Eddie, and, Yaro, and, Namir, because Namir was still alive at that point.
And what do you want with them?
Lord Volko sends an invitation for a meeting at his estate. He kind of like looking around. He's I'm really supposed to deliver this to one of them. Who are you? I heard. I was asking around. I heard they were staying here, or at least this is as far as I was able to track.
Yeah, you heard. I'll come out from the back room. You heard correctly.
You see that? Yes. Well, Lord Volko invites you to his estate for a meeting. He wishes to discuss some of the political strife within the city, and coin is to be offered for what he is wanting, but this is a slightly urgent matter, and it may involve the very soul of this city. Those are his words.
It's a bit dramatic, don't you think?
The Lord can be a bit dramatic at times, but he seemed fairly concerned when I saw him. Simply come by whenever it is convenient for you.
And I suppose his manor is over on Plague Street?
No, near the Gold Cliffs where you were last time.
Right, I remember the place now. Okay, yeah, we'll swing by.
All right. Have a nice day. He kind of tips his hat, or well, yeah, he tips his hat. But I'd also probably tell you guys, like, as you open the door and see all this, he is in like he's in a butler's outfit. He's wearing a heavy coat, as there was a snowstorm last night, and there is a heavy covering of snow throughout the city, as winter has officially arrived to the province of Wallachia.
Fuck. I'm gonna need to...
Yaro, if you step outside, you are probably gonna be up to your neck in snow.
Nice.
Right, Sarovna.
Yep.
I'm gonna need to get a thicker coat than what I've got right now.
Yeah. Yep.
Also gloves.
Let me make sure I didn't have anything else. I think that was everything. So that was Eddie's message, Canis's message, Tanis's message, and the butler. Yep, that was everything.
I received an invitation to go to the Ghost Spire to meet with my mentor of sorts. There's some kind of job involving coin. He did say that it wasn't urgent, though. The butler did tell us that his job was urgent.
I have to go to the spire to meet with Stinky Professor. I would say it's urgent, but I know you guys don't care. But I would appreciate if we eventually
The
go.
professor at the Ghost
Well,
Spire, that's the one that was involved with your thing, right?
Yeah, the one that killed
Yeah.
her and then revived her and then killed her again and then brought her
That's
back.
probably urgent.
I just remember the bruises. But yes, that one.
Oh, I was gonna
Right.
mention this before, Josiah. I don't know if you were aware, but Octavius was talking about something about needing to get into the archives. He was asking me for help with that, and I had promised him that I would help try to get him inside, but obviously we didn't get anywhere. I just thought you should know.
Yeah, I was trying to plot my way to get into the archive.
What? So you're both trying to get in. What are you hoping to find in the archive?
Information relating to the library I discussed before.
Okay. It's probably important that we get in then, because if we can guarantee that whoever these people are that took Octavius, they have access to whatever information is in that archive. I'm fairly certain that some of these people are high up members of the Inquisition. I can't remember if we had talked about this, Mike. Where are like Inquisitors and like Inquisition members? Do they get access to the archive?
I was about to ask.
Yes, it's a little. So the Inquisition actually has its own archive because they don't. They could have access if they wanted to, really, but they don't really go there because the Inquisition already has basically everything they need at their sanctorums. But I mean, you could go there and see. You've probably never really had a reason to go there in the past because if you were part of the Inquisition, they have basically their own archives and like library filled with all sorts of information.
Atanas, you might be able to get Josiah inside.
I reckon I might be able to get in myself.
Do you have
I needed to go
credentials?
to the
Something like that.
Well, I do agree with Eddie that anything regarding this amulet is probably urgent, considering it's decided to
I agree.
embed itself in him. So,
Eddie just brightens up as you mentioned that because for the first time somebody has heard him.
so we should
I
probably
agree
go
with
to
you,
the
Ken.
Ghost Spire first.
plus Eddie. I would be very careful with whom you mention that amulet and your power, because you were able to sense the necromancy magic that produced those green flame on that boat.
Wait, what?
I was not able to do nothing.
Yeah, Eddie
It
just kind of
shot
freaked
out.
Yeah.
Like I had no control over that, sir.
No,
This
Eddie,
is where
Eddie,
we need to
Eddie,
go.
hear me out. I did not say you produced the flame. I say you sensed something was wrong. Before I shoved you out of the boat, yes, that's true.
I mean, it was a room full of twisted dead bodies. I'm pretty sure like you could sense something was definitely wrong.
No, but Eddie said like she did actually said it was very, 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 very wrong, and then she just backed out and like was in complete fear when that happened. So it was
Yeah.
more than just the body.
Definitely.
Anyway, we need to go to that professor, but I also received a message from Alrang, and a body showed up this
Near the
morning
Chapel Plaza.
near the Chapel Plaza, and apparently it may be connected to that necromancer. So, and I need to pick up my sword. So, how about? By the way, is it on the way? Could I pick up my sword
Yeah,
and then go
because
to
your
the?
sword, like you guys are staying in the Grand Market. The
Uh-huh.
place with the sword was in the Artisan Square, which is like right next to each other. So it would take you like 10 minutes.
I would just like tell, like, for just to expedite this, I would just like tell to just wait for me for that 10 minutes. I'll just go grab the sword, come back, and then. All right. So, are we all
So,
going to the professor for Eddie?
well, as you go to get your sword, Canis, do you want to just say you went off and did your thing, or do you want to actually roleplay this for your Canis?
Sorry, what's up?
Did he? So Atanas is going to get his sword that is now finished. I want to know if you wanted to just roleplay your little thing, or do you want to just
Oh, sure, yeah, we can roleplay it.
doing his thing? Because I can roleplay.
Yeah, we can roleplay it. That sounds good.
Yeah, sure. So yeah, while you guys are basically in the market district, which by the way, I mean you got some time. If you guys have any money to like buy anything, here's a big open market. Atanas kind of goes off. You guys kind of wander around maybe a little. Canis, you begin walking through kind of like the stalls and the stores around the Grand Market, and you suddenly get this weird pull. Not it. It's very strange. It's not. You hear like a sort of whisper in your head, but not in like words. Almost like emotions. Something maybe like rage or power, hunger, something around those sort of twisting in your head, and you kind of look off and you see sort of down one of these alleys an obscure looking shop kind of tucked away, and it seems to call to you.
I'll make my way towards the shop. Kind of get tunnel vision. I won't look around at all.
Alright. As you do, you approach a shop that doesn't seem to have a name, but you open the front door, there's a little bell that jingles, and you see a figure behind a oh god, this storefront, basically a counter. God, I seriously might be losing my ability to speak the English language. Behind a counter, a sort of gnarled figure. You can't really tell if this is just a guy who's really old or if this is just a guy who's sick. But he kind of like has let me see here. Yeah, he kind of look. His fingers are kind of like broken, like long but like broken in pieces. He has like one eye that kind of like goes off, like hair, like greasy hair that kind of like comes down and he turns to you and says, "Ah, welcome. How may I help you?" And as this figure says this, your eyes are drawn behind him to this sword hanging on a wall. Looks to be more like an old tarnished blade. It doesn't look very like it doesn't look like a very good sword maybe to most people, but for some reason it seems to almost call to you.
Well, I don't I don't really need anything. I was just wandering. Is that sword for sale?
He looks behind him like, oh yeah. Uh, one moment as he turns around and picks it up along with a sheath that is sitting beneath it as he places them on the counter. a unique item I picked up many years ago. You are the first to come in here and recognize its true value, I'm certain.
I
Why don't you test its weight? As he kind of holds it out to you.
I'm not sure I do see its value. I'll palm it.
You take the sword, and there is no real words are spoken, but there's almost like this sense of power. Within seconds, there's these thoughts of vengeance, justice, victory enter your mind as you look into this blade. And as you look up back to the shopkeeper and around you, shopkeeper's gone. The shop itself gone. You are in an empty and abandoned room, the walls half crumbling to the ground. The sword in sheath in front of you on a crumbling counter. Well, the sheath is, the sword's in your hands.
I hesitate for a moment, like I'm gonna put the sword down, and then I grab the sheath and strap it onto my belt and sheath the sword.
Alright, as you sheath the blade and pull your hand away, you feel a small prick on your hand, and you kind of have to uh, like, like you may have cut yourself or like poked yourself on something. It kind of just, it's more annoying than anything. But as you turn and leave the abandoned lot, along the handle of the blade, which appears to be, well, it's your sword. How would you describe the handle looking? Like, what color would the handle be?
It looks like a really piece of shit sword. The hilt is just like wrapped. It's just got like a basic hilt that's wrapped with like some
Yeah.
red leather.
Well, as you were walking, there is a tiny drop of blood that had come out of your finger onto the handle, and as it falls upon the red, sort of tarnished red leather, blood begins to move in a pattern, like a name being signed. Your name, as it sits there, and then eventually soaks into the sword, as if some kind of deal has just been made. And you go back to the group.
Hell yeah.
So, Tannis, you go to the shop. You meet the two kobolds who were in charge. They produce the sword, and it has the magical effect you wanted placed upon it.
Love it.
You all, however, within a short time managed to meet back up. Where would you like to go first?
I think we are all in agreement that we're going to the Ghost Spire first to meet with the guy for Eddie's thing.
That's right.
Seems important.
Yeah, the
Thank
sooner
you.
we can deal with that issue, the better it will be for Eddie. Can't even imagine how to have the thing. Yeah. Anyway,
Right. As you gather together, you begin to head north to the Ghost Spire. Like before, you see this. Well, especially Josiah, you have seen this just passing along while you were essentially trying to figure out how to get into the archive. This tall spire with a sort of like dome-like structure at the top that almost seems like transparent. Not that you can like see through it into the rooms inside, but like you can see completely through the building to what is over on the opposite side. Like the tower itself is spectral. As you,
Huh.
yeah, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
As you come forward, there is like a wall barrier surrounding it with two gargoyles on each side. There's no like gate, it looks like, but as before when you first arrived, the gargoyles like ask for like a sort of password that you would have been given, and a sort of the wall in front of you kind of dissipates and allows you to enter into the grounds of the spire. Going through the front door, you see the beholder-like creature that some of you have seen before. Probably not Josiah, but it's, I believe, called a spectator or a specter, or not specter, but instead of like having multiple eye stalks, it only has four. Um, and it seems to be just kind of like a clerk, essentially, like some sort of magically summoned creature to kind of help with the bureaucracy of the front desk. But you are eventually led to a teleportation platform that takes you to another part of the spire, and you head to the familiar halls of Professor Gwendolen. As you enter, Josiah, this will be you for the first time, see this massive room that does not appear to have any sort of floor. If you look down, it just looks like a sort of chasm filled with a thin fog, and there is a floating platform in front of the door that you all step on. As you step onto it, the platform moves away from the door to a larger central platform in the middle of the room. Sort of floating amongst everything, however, around this platform are large shelves filled with ancient tomes to strange items. Many of the books here have these sort of metal locks that have been placed upon them, kind of keeping them from being able to basically be stolen. But you all apparently eventually arrive to the central platform, where you see the professor sitting at his work desk, tinkering away as he was before when you first came here.
Um, Professor?
Mm, Oh, yes, hold on. As he puts away what he was doing, then he, like, turns around and, uh, sort of something. He's a deep gnome, so he kind of has, like, a rocky colored skin, old age, kind of big beard, uh, very wizardy looking guy with a sort of robe, but like a work robe, like something he would use when he's working around. He comes to you like, oh, Eduardo, Mr. I'm sorry, I'm terrible with names. Own names. Yes, had I had made contact with my colleague in Sorcer, and he has agreed to meet you. I should send word to him now. He'll arrive shortly. Hold on. He kind of seems to send out a message. Yes, Master. The individual I have told you about has arrived and is ready to meet with you. Um, please come at your earliest convenience, or preferably now since he's here. So maybe not your earliest convenience. Yes. Anyway, how are things going? As he turns to you, Eddie.
And he wants to be polite, so he's like, as well as could be expected, Professor. I am very thankful for your help. How have things been with your... And I look around. Work?
Uh, yeah, as you look around, he has like a little sort of workshop with multiple items kind of sitting around. You're not really sure what he does. Seems to be involving magical items of some kind. Um, oh, my work is going quite well. Recently got an ancient staff from up north, and I'm very interested in figuring out what it does. Anyway, did wish, tea and biscuits. I need to. Yes. He kind of like, you can tell he doesn't get a lot of company as he kind of like goes around and quickly like grabs a teapot. Seems to be making some like not fancy tea, but just like some what would essentially be store bought stuff, that nothing that's like high quality. And he kind of like sets out some like random cups he got, and there's like some dried biscuits that he kind of sets out. Um, After about 10 minutes, You do hear from a distance the door to the chamber opening and closing again. You see another platform approaching yours. Um, the figure on this is a tall dragonborn individual. Um, has oh god, what are those gems called? I believe it is the emerald gem dragonborn. Um, Sort of like long pointed mouth, two horns that kind of come up, look like they break off halfway, and then the other ends are just floating in midair above the broken off part. Um, Wearing very long, sort of Arabian like robes in design with a deep blue color as he as his platform lands and he seems to very swiftly get onto the platform, looking at the professor. Uh, yes, Professor, I have gotten your message. Are these the individuals? As he looks around to the rest of you, and the professor says, yes, everyone, this is Archmage. Oh god, what fucked up name did I give him on this long list of fucked up names? Azranov. Um, God, that sounds terrible even saying it. Master Azranov, as he points out the figure. He is a archmage from the great city of Insara in Zorzer, and has a study in the type of things that are plaguing young Eddie here.
I look towards Canis as if begging for his support in this entire conversation, and I approach him and greet him. Hello, Professor. Thank you for coming to us with such swiftness.
You like hold out a hand, is that what you said?
I don't know, because I don't know if that's the greeting exercise. I wouldn't even try it.
You see this now as a dragonborn. This guy is like probably like 6.5 to 6'8", so he's a tall individual, and he's just kind of like looking down at you. And it is Archmage, not Professor.
My apologies, Archmage.
I'm gonna give
Hey,
Eddie a thumbs up.
I do not have the most time in the world, so I will get right into this. Where is the item in question?
I open my shirt.
And yeah, you open your shirt, and there is the green orb of the amulet with the skeletal hand clutching it that has now embedded itself into your chest. As the archmage looks down, is like, I thought you said this was an amulet. He kind of looks
It
to the other
was.
the other professor's like, well, it was like that before. Something happened.
I put in my chest. I woke up like this.
Alright, hold on. Stand still 1 minute. The archmage kind of leans down. He kind of like waves his hands around the item and seems to peer at it. His eyes kind of flash with this arcane energy. Yes, this is definitely belongs to the death cult. How did you come by this?
So I just found it in a market. Thought it looked cool. Got a really good price on it. Carried it around for a long time. And then I look back at that and I say, because you told me not to say. But I'm like, and then dark energy came out of it when I was in danger. And then I woke up with this embedded into my chest.
That's switching between some of my accents. That does not sound pleasant.
Not in the slightest, Archmage.
I believe I know what this is. This is going to be a bit of a lore dump, so I'm going to give us, say, a 10-minute, probably about a 12-minute break, so come back at 10 till. We're going to go ahead and take a break here,
All right.
Roger that.
as Eddie's going to learn what this amulet actually is.
Fuck me.
Guys, Baldur's Gate 3 is so fun.
Oh, it's amazing.
Dude,
Yes, it
we
is.
all, whoever's got it on PC, we should play a campaign.
Oh, I'm down.
Hell yeah.
I got it. I know that Casey
Yeah,
has
so we
it.
could do like me, you, Simon, and Casey. That'd be good. Good shit.
What? And you started a campaign,
Yeah, I
or
started one earlier today. I'm I'm like a level 2 warlock right now.
you what? You cut out.
I'm a level
like
2
level 2.
warlock.
Nice.
No. What race did you pick?
I'm a half elf.
Nice.
Man, I am a what am I? I think level 5 monk dragonborn. Dude, it's so good.
I am a level 5 paladin dragonborn.
Did
I'm-
any of you try the Dark Urge?
I started that. I started a second playthrough just to start that, and then I found out. So basically, I'm gonna continue my other playthrough first before I do Dark Urge, because the Dark Urge is basically the dark time, like the dark story. Like if
I
you
know
want to
it's
have
so
a
good.
dark, yeah, if you want to have a dark story with a lot of like random murders, do that one. That is the dark
Yeah,
story.
Why do you think I
don't
picked it?
spoil stuff for me, guys. I'm super early.
No, that's why I'm like,
Yeah, I'm
yeah,
not.
no, I'm
It's
not.
not really like it. Even like if you even
It
like
says
go to
in the
the
yeah.
Dark Urge thing, it actually explains what it is too, like on the actual introduction. So I'm not explaining anything that the introduction wouldn't give you. But yeah, it is basically just for like if you want to do a darker story.
Yeah, I didn't know how. Like, I didn't know like it would. Like, I didn't read the description. I was like, yeah, it's gonna be cool. And then you play it, and like, yep, all right. It's exactly like the description says.
Yep.
But I'm definitely gonna try the half orc, and then I don't know what
Yeah,
else.
at some point I'm gonna try the half orc as well. They really like the amount of classes and just race. It's like really hard to. Basically, at the end of the day, I pretty much just made Rollin, but like an alternative paladin version of him.
Nice.
Went blue dragonborn and everything.
Yeah, I'm bummed out that they don't have Hexblade as a warlock option. And I could have sworn that warlocks got proficiency with like scimitars and shit, but I guess not.
No, there are something that did not completely 5e. Like there are some slight modifications to it. So
Yeah, to make it basically more compatible with like a video game format.
yeah,
But
like for example,
they went with like most of like the straight stuff that's out of like the player's handbook for a lot of the subclasses. Especially for like the fighter only has like 3 subclasses, which are like the standard ones.
yeah, you have what? You have Battlemaster, Cavalier, and Eldritch Knight.
Yeah, Eldritch Knight, Battlemastered, and then like what is it, the Champion? I think it's called.
Is it Champion or is it Cavalier? Oh yeah, no, it's
So
Champion.
there's the other one from Xanathar's guide. I am hoping that at some point, maybe like after like a year or so, if they might like make DLC or like something that adds more classes.
I'm sure they will.
I'm sure they are. Yeah, that'll add like some more classes. 'Cause, like even right now, there's so many like even if you do one playthrough, you're not going to be able to do everything in that game.
Yeah, no,
That's how great.
I'm
Like,
really
there's like
so far. I'm
17,000 endings
incredibly
or some shit. It's
I'm
like
incredibly impressed so far. The writing has been really good. The opening cutscene.
Did you play the early access?
No,
Alex?
I decided
Oh, yeah.
I decided because like I was gonna play it with Casey, but like he's every time we were gonna do it, he had something going on, which understandable. But
Honestly, I played the early access and it still amazed me. Like it's just
I'm
so
kind of
good.
glad I waited,
Yeah.
but I mean it's really good. I'm not. I'm. Some of the combat is like really fucking challenging. In one of the first areas, I like broke a hole in the floor and I jumped down into it and I immediately got
Oh,
this
yeah,
really
yeah,
hard
yeah.
fight.
Yeah, that's the first hard fight.
It
You should not prepare
took
for
me
it.
like 3 tries to beat it, but the third try, I just like camped in the room and I like blew up the oil barrel with all the guys
Yeah.
on it, and
That's
then I
the one.
kept casting grease on it over and over again, and every time you do that, it ignites again.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I just kept doing that to light all the guys on fire if they wanted to get into the room, and then once they got in the room, I would fuck them up. So
Yeah.
I did the yeah, you're past this part, but like near the beginning of the game when you're fighting when you're trying to escape the ship and the mind flayer is fighting with that other guy, the devil.
That's fucking awesome.
I did the thing where you could essentially kill the devil and take his great sword, which is an awesome great sword.
okay.
Dude, I could not in my campaign. I could not do it.
I just rushed right
Yeah,
past
you
them. It
basically
looked
have to-
too fucking scary.
Oh yeah. When you're going through the ship, there are a bunch of these sort of purple explosive looking things that you can pick up. You basically have to make your way to that fight. Don't actually attack any of them. Just drop off those purple explosives, walk away, have like the cleric chick, if you get her to escape, launch like a firebolt at them. It explodes, and the guy will either die instantly or just have like 5 hit points left, and you can kill him and take his great sword, which is a great sword that does an extra 1d4 fire damage.
Yeah, that cleric chick, she's
really
cool.
And you get a trophy if you can beat him.
Yeah, because they buffed up that
achievement.
fight. It used to be so easy on early access to get that sword.
Oh yeah.
Like literally so easy. And
Dude,
then
immediately after the fucking ship crashes, there was like a fight with some intellect devourers, and it was like that was a hard fucking fight.
That shit's
oh, those things are hard. Yeah, they have a lot of HP and
If they hit you, they pretty much take you down. So because like I was level 1 still, so like it was like a lot of hoping that they missed.
How were you level 1? That's right. You should be level 2.
I was level 1 still until after that fight. Maybe I didn't find enough stuff on the ship or something.
Oh yeah, you know what? Like the cool thing to do when you go around the ship when you're still in the air, and you have all those guys like either laying on the bed or on the outside of the ship before you go up to the big fight. When you go upstairs, there are some like thrall that are still alive, but like they're still alive, but they're just laying down not doing anything. If you kill them, you actually gain XP from the That's weird because usually when you go down immediately after the ship go down, when you like get up again, that's when you turn level 2.
Yeah, I wonder what I fucked
that's
up.
why you are level 1.
But yeah, I mean, it made the intellect devourer fight like so fucking hard. I had to fucking kite with Eldritch Blast, and like they would just keep dashing at me and stuff.
all right. Everyone back?
Yep.
Oh, Mike, did you break your oath yet?
I mean, not yet.
Oh,
I'm trying not to.
I'm back.
the first time I played Paladin, I didn't try to. I just did on accident, and it was cool.
Well, I went with the Vengeance Paladin or something, so I think that was a little hard to.
Yeah, I think it's
break.
harder to break.
Anyway, getting back to the game.
Who shall we murder next?
So, as you all had
Tea and biscuit.
as you all were having tea and biscuits, a dragonborn figure had arrived, an archmage, and he had basically examined the amulet and is about to tell you what the fuck this is. As he looks down at you, Eddie, still examining the amulet. Yes, I believe this is one of the relics of the Whispered One himself. Uh, hmm. How much how much have you learned about this amulet? Um, basically just to be able to tell you what information you may have not known.
Absolutely nothing. About the amulet, nothing.
Right? Well, this amulet. Pull up my notes. I should have done that during break. Here we go. This amulet belongs with a death cult within Zorcer that worshipped a being that most individuals, or most of the commoners, refer to as the Whispered One. To those of more pristine knowledge of history, we refer to him as Vecna. That is the name he went by in his mortal life. He was a great elder lich who rose to power and ascended to some form of demigodhood. When he arose and vanished from the world, 3 of his greatest followers essentially were left behind to kind of take over in a sort of what is the word I'm looking for here? Power vacuum of sorts, and they were all kind of fighting over the empire, which eventually fell because they all ended up, well, failing with it, falling with it. Each of these individuals gained a powerful magic item from the necromancer himself. The first was the necromancer's own spell tome. It has many names, Necronomicon. I believe most commoners simply refer to it as the Book of Vile Darkness. Not very imaginative, honestly. The second was the very hand of Vecna himself. A hand that would grant an individual great amount of power and even the ability to sort of how do I word this? The ability to gain a wish of some kind. Though likelihood of that wish working out for you would vary. Then the third item, as he kind of moves his hand over the green orb, and what was a cloudy sort of like what was once a clouded jewel almost seems to clear. The third was the eye of Vecna, and he gestures to the orb, which now shows a green human eye.
I back up, like trying to run away from it, even though it's stuck to my chest.
Yep. The professor. Like, how bad are you freaking out, essentially?
I would say a solid 9.
Yeah. You guys are all looking there, and Eddie's freaking the fuck out as now the crystal has been cleared and an eye is now looking out of this amulet.
Eddie, You got this. It's okay.
Full-blown hyperventilation.
Archmage, is there a reason the eye would have bonded so brutally to our friend here? It's literally embedded in him. I mean, this is grotesque.
Well, typically the eye would actually replace one of your own existing eyes, but this is a special case. The individual that had claimed this eye was an ancient an elder lich known as Zarathutep. He was one of the great prophets of Vecna. He, in searching for he basically trying to achieve the semi-godhood his master did, tried to create a new phylactery to house his soul. And to create a powerful one, he needed to use one of the most powerful magic items available to him, which was the eye itself. Luckily, for most of us, before this process of changing his soul over to the new phylactery happened, he was stopped by some merchant princess of some kind. I can't remember her name. Ancient knowledge and legends lost to time, but they were invaded by a number of tribes people from the local desert tribes that stopped the process and slew the lich. The amulet itself was lost in the process, or the phylactery. I believe that from what the professor has told me and what I have gathered here with it attaching itself to you, that when you gained this phylactery, it seemed to embed itself partially with your soul. You
My
are,
soul, huh?
you are not undead, from what the professor tells me, which means the process is not completely done, but I believe that you are slowly going through the process of becoming a lich.
Alright, how do we stop it?
That is a complicated answer.
Well, give it to us
Usually-
anyway.
Yes, usually when dealing with a lich and trying to, well, stop a lich, you would simply destroy the object. The problem here is that this phylactery is made by an extremely powerful magic item. Gotta grab a book here.
It's also bonded to Eddie's soul. I feel like if we destroy
Yes,
it...
I'm not quite certain what would happen if you destroy it. There is the risk that he could lose that part of himself, or maybe perhaps it would return to him. I am uncertain of the actual consequences of that.
I mean, could this just kill him?
If I mean, eventually, given time, it will eventually kill him and revive him as an undead.
I meant, would...
I don't like that answer.
What I am more interested in is has anything peculiar happened to you while you have been with this amulet?
Besides it embedding itself inside of his chest?
Well, I was in danger, and this dark magic shot up out of it that I didn't understand, I didn't control. I wouldn't say it protected me, because I was not feeling protected, but it didn't let me die. And I'd be having dreams.
Dreams. Anything specific?
Okay, so in my village, I was not very loved, but I did have one friend who died in a horrendous manner in front of me. I dream of that. I dream of a voice. I dream of. I can only say the color green. This sticky green. And it feels like what happened in the harbor. And I look at the guys because, like, they know what I'm talking about. And it scares me that he's coming for me next.
I'm sorry, harbor? What? What is this about the harbor?
I look at Atanase because I don't know if I should say more.
Right, in a harbor. Sorry, I was dozing off for a second. Long story short, boat crashed, piles of dead body in it, whispered one symbol under it, green flame, boat destroyed, undead rise up from the water, we kill all the undead, and now we're looking for a necromancer in the city.
That does not sound ideal for the circumstances. Right, as for trying to solve this, there is at least what I know of one way to possibly destroy the amulet if you go that route. There is an item known as the Sword of Cass. Cass was a once vampiric servant of Vecna, but had either, that's not really known, but had somehow either been betrayed by the necromancer or betrayed him in turn. But Cass wielded a powerful magic sword that is legend to be drawn to the artifacts of Vecna, a weapon that could potentially destroy them. That is the only thing that comes to mind powerful enough to put a dent in whatever this is. Or, well, actually, this is the phylactery of Zarathotep, so yeah, I know it. Never mind, I don't even know why I said that. That is option one. Option two. There are others who might know more information, specifically the nomadic tribes within the great desert of Sharar, within Zorzair. The Kusani. Kusani, so K-H. Yeah, I don't have the complete thing, but there are those among them that are death worshippers, but not in the way of worshipping necromancy or something like that. They have many legends and lore with their practices. They may know more information. If you want, I mean, if you have nothing super important going on, I believe the professor can give you access to one of my teleportation circles, and the college can send you to the well, city that I am dwelling in, which is nearby the Great Desert, and you might be able to journey and figure out how to further investigate this.
Do you think I should do it right away? Or can I get my affairs in order just in case?
Well,
Just in case.
it doesn't seem to be a quick process, whatever this is. At least not from the looks of it, so I would say you have some time before the, I guess we could call it the curse, continues to spread and turns you into a lich.
I know I should be thankful, but I'm not sure this information made it any easier to be carrying this on me. Is the eye still showing?
Yeah, now that he has removed whatever was blocking it, Your amulet now just has a green eye, and as you guys look at it, it twitches, and the eye is actually looking around the room.
I'ma button up that bitch real quick.
Right. Um, another warning I should give you. Um, Powerful artifacts like that can sometimes gain a sort of semi-sentience of their own, and this being a relic of the great necromancer himself may have taken on his personality. A small shadow of his former self. And there's a fucking mosquito in my goddamn room. Fucker.
Wow.
Uh, yeah. um, uh, and just be wary of that. Honestly, just a warning.
A personality, you say? Yeah, of course. Why not? Sounds plausible.
Right. Well, if the unless you have any questions, though I have many things on my table at the moment. Anything you'd like to know further?
Well, I guess we'll be visiting you soon, so if I do have more questions, would you mind me asking them then?
Certainly. I will look forward to your visit. And a word of warning: if you do come to visit Zorzer, uh, definitely dress for warm weather. We do not get your winters down in the desert.
Thank you for taking some time out of your day for this. I hope I can repay it in this lifetime.
Certainly, and I hope that the best of luck with this. As he kind of just gestures to all of you. Right.
With this shit show right here.
He kind of gets up, turns around to the platform on the other side, and leaves the room. As you were given all that information,
Um. So, guys,
Eddie, that's a lot. Um, listen, I think that the finding a legendary sword that belonged to some mythological figure is maybe a long shot. I think that your best bet probably is to go and meet with these nomads in Zorzair, and you know, with that
vibes,
said,
not
I certainly would accompany you through a teleportation circle if that's something that you need to do. Um, but I do have some business to take care of in the city before we do that. Um,
thank you. I do think we have some time, but I want you to promise me something. If I stop being me, please kill me. I
Got
don't
it.
want you guys to end up like
I feel like I just had this conversation.
Chrissy.
God damn it, I don't want to have to kill the whole party.
Literally.
We're not gonna need to kill anyone. What are you talking about? Everyone is fine. Everyone
You're
can
right.
be fixed.
You're right, yeah, we're gonna fix everybody.
I look around and be like trying to gauge like how you guys want to work this out with me or not.
I have to meet with my professor. Um, he's not far. And he said that he had a job for us, actually. So I thought maybe if you all wanted to come along, um, we could go meet with him quickly before we take care of anything else we want to do.
How far is the body from where we are?
you guys are currently here at the Ghost Spire. It was found in the Chapel Plaza just down the street.
Got it. So not too far. All right, Kenneth, let's go. Let's go meet with your professor. And oh, remember we had that invitation from that guy as well, right?
Yeah, I figured. I, I feel like we probably should go there sooner rather than later, since he said that the soul of the city depends on it. But I just feel like that's just such a over dramatic way of stating it. I have a hard time taking it seriously.
It does sound cheesy. I
I
agree with
mean, we
you.
deal
But
with so much shit all the time. How this guy's just like a he's some kind of merchant or something. I
well, you know, merchant they usually all overtime advise everything just to make sure they are taken seriously or to get things done quicker. But you know what? I still need to go and see about that body. Um, let's go meet you, Professor, and then I really need to investigate that thing, especially since it may be related to Eddie here, so it may be important for us as well.
Let's go.
Right. Um, you all leave the room, and it takes like 5 minutes to go find the other professor's room as you enter, and you see the laboratory of Candace's professor.
Gorgoroth.
Um, yeah, Drek Gorngoroth. The strange wizard who seems to be studying a new type of magic called biomancy, and he's got these sort of his body has kind of got like multiple different appendages. He's got one arm is like longer than the other and covered in feathers. He's got like these two little goblin arms coming out of like his sort of abdomen. Um, an orcish fellow. As you enter, he turns to you. Ah, goodness, wonderful for you to make it. I was hoping you would come soon. I have a proposition for all of you. Um, as you enter, you see the two-headed kobold sort of servant or assistant that's in there, kind of like just moving around, moving stuff around. Um, right. So a little bird has told me that recently you have become members of the Jaeger's Call.
Yeah, we're associates with them. I mean, we're
I,
yeah.
well, I have a hunt I would like to propose to you, a paying one at that. Um, I have heard rumors of a recent incident far to the south, in a village within Lenvorel, that has been suffering from terrible nightmares, one could say. I believe this is a work of a creature known as a dream holder, kind of like a beholder, but if any of you know what that is, I don't know actually. How many of you know what a beholder is?
Uh, yeah. I've never
Yeah,
faced one,
you probably.
but I
Well, they are much like the our little office worker down in the uh, front desk, but this particular one is different as it feeds on people's dreams and doesn't always stay within the physical realm or manifest itself within the physical realm. What I want is for you to hunt this creature down, slay it, and then harvest certain parts out of it. Um, why didn't I open the ship? No, I am offering, for going through the trouble of this, I am offering you a straight down payment of 2,000 gold, and there will be additional payments depending on what parts you can harvest from this creature. Here we go. God, this takes forever to load. There we are. So, the dream holder itself has a number of items. So, here we are. There are 6 eyes. Usually they sort of sit on an eye stalk type situation. These are smaller eyes. For each of these eyes, I will offer you an additional 100 gold. Um, for its bones, if it has any, or as many as you can collect, I will offer an additional 150. For the brain, I will offer you about 500 for the hide. If you manage to get that, another 500. But if you manage to bring me this sort of, it should have a large central eye. That is another 1,000 gold on top of what you can earn. Now, that is the money involved in this. Kindness, since you are a student here, you will receive your own little reward. I realize that Lenvorel, which is like Lenvorel is a whole nother province that's kind of like on the other side of the empire from you guys. In order to get there, I will give you a permission slip to use one of our teleportation circles to get down there. And if you manage to pull this off, we will see about gaining you some limited access to the teleportation rooms. Basically, you would get a limited fast travel type thing if you finish this to certain cities that I will mark on the map uh, a little later. And also a special reward from myself. I'll leave that one as a surprise. Uh, just think it over. Let me know what if you wish to proceed, and we can see about getting you down there.
Okay. Um, we have to meet with a couple of other people here in the city. They said that they have duty or jobs that they need us to complete here. But after that, I think that, especially given that we may be able to get access to the teleportation rooms, I think that this will probably be pretty high on our priority list.
Most certainly, it's no real experience. I will simply tell you that when if you actually manage to kill this creature and harvest from it, there is a sort of time limit after you kill it, of how long. You see, the parks themselves usually hold some form of arcane energy, which is why I'm interested in them. But after you kill it, there is a sort of time period before that energy kind of leaks away. So that's just something for if you when you actually do the hunt. No, I will probably remind you of all this when you actually start doing the hunt. Probably no point in telling you now and having you maybe slightly forget in the future.
Absolutely. We'll be back as soon as it's well, we'll be back quickly.
Most certainly. All right. Um, and it kind of gives you an adieu. Oh, and if any of you are interested in augmenting your current physiology, I do offer that maybe a new arm or some a new eye.
Tell me more. I'm
Just
interested.
what? Are you interested?
Well, what exactly do you propose, and what do those new parts offer?
Um, I wasn't actually expecting anyone to be. So I will let you know after the thing. It's in Valdez. There's like this whole thing near the end where it's like grafting stuff to
Oh
your
yeah,
body.
I'll check it
Yeah.
out. Then Valdez,
Uh,
you said?
yeah, in Valdez, like near the bottom, I believe, in the appendix. Other than that, that is all. So where do you guys want to go next?
Well, I have to go and check the body.
I absolutely should not show my face there.
I was about to say Canis is probably not coming.
I would
Uh,
definitely, if Josiah wants to go to the archive, I would go with him if he wants any help.
actually, yeah,
Sure.
I think I should probably go alone, and the rest of you guys go to the archives.
All right. So that's the party splits up again. Who knows how long Atanis is going to be gone this time? Couple days again. But yes, as the party splits, or well, one person splits off from the party, the rest of you head towards the archive, and Atanis, you head down the street towards the Chapel Plaza. We're gonna go ahead and do the archive first. So as you guys approach, you leave the Ghost Spire. You pass this large building that kind of sits next to the Ghost Spire, which is like the basically the Imperial Academy for Natural Philosophy, which is kind of like this sort of academic, sort of sciencey type school. You go past the Zorzarian Embassy, and you eventually get to the Grand Bluffs, which I don't think anyone except for Tanis has been up here yet, but this is a large cliff face with dozens of very expensive sitting near the top is a massive clock tower that kind of overlooks the city. As you follow the road, just a little bit up, you do reach a large sort of official looking building. It kind of has these two halls that goes to the side, a domed roof in the center, and these large doors at the front that are like kind of open to just kind of let people in to the front area. As you go up and enter, you enter a sort of um, like an entryway, like a small entry desk type area. A circular, small, like a circular room that's probably about 30 by 30, like a 30-foot radius, not a 30-foot radius, but like a 15-foot radius, making a 30-foot room. Um, in the center, there is a large circular desk with a tall, thin, elvish individual. On the other side of him, you do see another door which seems to lead into the deeper parts of the archive that is heavily guarded. It is like a metal portcullis that is locked down and stopping anyone from just running past into the place. And standing like right on each side of this portcullis are two, not well armored, but they're these sort of decoratively armored individuals, each carrying a halberd. Um, think like the Swiss Guard at the in Rome for like the Pope at the Vatican type situation. And they're sitting at the as you enter at the front desk is this very thin elvish individual as he looks up and says, "Yes, may I help you?"
Josiah will stride forward. That I believe you could. Adelum Hilbrand wished me to pick out some scrolls for him.
Really? Make a persuasion check with advantage. As you have just laid down a name and you are a ASMR individual.
I'll actually draw my like sword too, and it would have had like a crest of like the Hilbrand family on it. But
Yeah. So that'll lower the DC. It's kind of like looks down because this is less of like he's probably gonna let you in, but this is more of like his disposition.
yeah, I
All
got
right,
you.
17. Yeah. He looks down at the sword. Most we can certainly accommodate that. Do you have your pass?
Afraid I left it back at the house. You would not make me wander all the way back there, would you?
We do not just let anyone in without a pass. If you have lost yours, then you will have to fill out forms for a new one.
Says through like gritted teeth. Very well.
Are the others entering?
I was made to be aware that they'd be allowed in as guests.
They will also require passes. As he goes down and like you see him pick up some paperwork from under the desk, and there's what, 5 of you now? He sets down 5 like stacks of paper that thick on the
Fuck.
desk. I will need you to sign each of these in triplicate.
Do you,
If you all can read.
Josiah? Do you want me to come in with you, or should I just wait outside?
It's not necessary, but it's gonna take me as long to fill this out as it will you.
Canis looks at it, rolls his eyes, and then starts filling it out.
You guys spend like a good 45 minutes to maybe an hour.
Do I know how to write?
That's up to Yarrow. Does Yarrow know how to write?
I don't think she would. She's been living in a bottle. Yara doesn't know how to write. She just scribbles.
I'll help Yarrow write her stuff.
All right, as each of you do this long paperwork, I'm not gonna roleplay that whole thing. You hand it in. He spends even more time going through each one of them. Eventually, he tucks them down, takes out these little slips of paper, has you sign each slip, and then he takes out one stamp, which seems to be this decorative, like has like a book with a little like wreath type thing around it. Stamps each one of them once with a red stamp, and then again with a green stamp. As he looks and says, "Here are your day passes," as he hands them over.
Appreciated. And I'll start walking towards the library.
All right, as you do, he kind of makes a signal, and one of the guards to the side like pulls a lever, and the portcullis begins to rise, allowing you entry into a massive archive hall. Large
as
circular. Go ahead.
description. I was just gonna say, like, as I was like walking in and looking back to them, like, let's get out of here quickly, guys. I don't want to be here long.
What are we looking for exactly?
Anything that you can find about it would be a library. I've heard it called the House of Knowledge. Yeah, it's what I've heard is it's north, ancient Wallachian ruins.
I'll start kind of looking through the various tomes, scrolls, and shit.
As you enter and begin to split off into, again, entering this massive central circular room, large glass ceiling, so there's plenty of daylight coming in from above, and it kind of splits off to the left and right as these long stretches of hallway that have just stacks upon stacks of books, massive bookshelves everywhere. There are those little like rolling ladders on each shelf that kind of like allow you to get up to the higher places, and there's an entire second floor with even more of them. Okay, so I just need to know, besides Canis and Josiah, who I assume are doing searching, is there anyone else helping with the search?
Not really. I got my own shit to deal in my head.
God damn, Eddie. That's cold.
Alright. So
Well, we're in a very big library. If you wanted to look for something related to it, I mean,
yeah.
Why the heck not? Yes.
All right, so I need whoever is going to be doing any searching, make an investigation check. Ooh, yeah, you have a. Libraries.
I think it's just advantage, right?
Yeah, you get advantage. Oh damn, Canis. 2 20s. Nice. And Eddie gets a 17. So Eddie, just right off the bat, this archive would not have any real more information on the stuff you're looking for. You were kind of told by like the expert, like the main expert person about your situation.
Makes sense.
As for Canis and Josiah, Canis, you do find a number of tomes that have to do with like the ancient history of the old kingdoms, which is kind of like where this is all formed around. And you manage to bring about 5 different tomes to a desk area, just out of collecting. Josiah, you find a number of books as well. Particularly, you find a book. Let me see. Yeah, okay, here it is. By one Valiko or Orlev. I'm gonna just copy and paste that into the chat so you guys can figure out the actual pronunciation. Yeah. Who seems to uh have a book that's more on like the deeper theories and more obscure knowledge. But as you remove this tome from the bookshelf, you hear a strange, like, wooden click as you pull this book. Kind of like look in where you had pulled the book, and deeper into the bookshelf, there appears to be this little, like, almost like little piece of wood that has come out of the back. Seems to reveal some sort of, like, hidden nest or, like, hidden little alcove.
Just I'll like quickly reach in there.
You quickly, like, reach in to the alcove, and what you find is a leather-bound journal of some kind. As you kind of, like, open it and just kind of peer at the pages, the entire journal is written in the old tongue. And it's likely something that'll take you a little bit of time to go through.
Yeah. He'll shove that and the other book, the Orla book, into his pack, and like he'll tell Canis, I think this might be what I was looking for. I'm going to prepare to leave.
Hold up. Do they? You're planning on taking those out of here, right?
Correct.
You don't think that they're gonna make sure you're not taking something out?
Well, they might.
So listen, what I can do, it's a little bit strange, but if you trust me with them, I can walk right out of the walls of this place with those books, if you want me to. That way you don't have to risk anything, and you can make sure that you get out of here with them.
You've shown yourself to be trustworthy so far. I'll hand you the books.
All
right. This might be disconcerting, so I apologize in advance. I'm gonna go ghost, and then I'm gonna just walk through the walls and leave.
Yeah, you find like a back area that's kind of like a dark corner. Seems like no one probably goes to that part of the library, and just right through into like a back alley area. The rest of you exit through the main entrance again, and as you do see the guy kind of like looking at you and then peering above you, looking at you, appearing above you. As you go back through that gate and look, if you look above you, there is actually a small gargoyle-like statue holding a glass orb, and he seems to be watching it just for it to do something, but it doesn't seem to do whatever he's looking for. And he kind of gives a huff and just like turns back around as the gates are closed behind you. There
Perhaps
was
it was better
likely
that
some
Canis
sort.
decided.
Yeah, there might have been a
Oh
security
fuck yeah! I figured that there had to be some kind of security device that they wouldn't let just people walk
Yeah, this
out.
place is fucking protected. You think they're just gonna let you walk out with books?
Oh, I didn't think they were gonna let me, but I was gonna walk out with those books.
I would be
All right.
kind of leaning against the side of the building when they came outside.
All right. As you come out, you do. Yeah, you guys see Canis sitting there with the
Well played,
books.
my friend.
So you have 5 books that Canis has collected, which are more of the like just looking through them. Josiah, you would recognize some of these as like some of the more popular beliefs, and like there's a lot of theories on the old kingdoms and like ancient lore about them. These are some of the more popular ones. The one you found with the journal seems to be like a different set of theories. um yeah, but you have now 6 books and a journal that you can take some time, study, and go through, and I will give you some information on those.
Cool.
But going away from that, going to Atanez. uh Unless are you still there? Like, I don't know if you randomly left. I haven't looked at chat.
I'm still here.
Okay. Like, sometimes you put that you're going, like, people put that they're going away and I don't pay attention. All right, so as you walk down the street, you enter a sort of large plaza area with a massive sort of cathedral in the center of it. Think like Notre Dame, basically. Just a massive sort of cathedral. Um, you were given an address and you kind of follow to, let's see, when you get there, you would follow to the right. There, you go down a sort of side street and you do eventually come upon what looks to be a number of Inquisition wardens. It's like the foot soldiers of the Inquisition kind of guarding the entrance of an alleyway.
I just walk up to them and I go, just for fun, 10 hut!
They instantly stand at attention as you prominently show off your
Right,
symbol.
at these soldiers. Can any of you tell me where I can find Inquisitor Samovi, please?
uh, the yes, sir. He kind of points down the alley, and you can see Inquisitor Simone, who currently looks like she's having an argument with another individual. You see a second individual standing in this alley, tall tiefling with red skin and these sort of black horns that kind of like come out and almost like bull horns kind of come forward in a very sharp pattern. He seems to have a more devilish look to him than some of the tieflings you've seen, with actual hooved feet, but heavy plate armor, with a sword at his side, as the two of them seem to be having some sort of argument. This is none of your concern. This is business of the Inquisition, and I do not like you being here. Would you please leave?
Right, good morning.
Ah, Tanas, finally. I was just telling our visitor here that he would to please vacate the crime scene. As you look up and you see this individual who is, you see, like, now you're close up, you see a pendant around his neck, which appears to be a crown with or a horned crown, which you would recognize, being a part of the Inquisition, that this is a paladin of Asmodeus. Now, I had information in a package, so I don't know if anybody read this, but Asmodeus within the Empire is actually worshipped as a god. He is the Lord of the Nine Hells. But he has a weird sort of following in the Empire where, since the Empire has a big thing against demons, this is D&D lore now. Devils are actually a whole different thing from demons, and they are actually in an eternal war with demons. So devils kind of hold this weird same place thing as like a celestial angel would. But yeah, so it's not like weird or anything that this guy's here. He's basically, it looks like he's someone from the church, basically.
Yeah, they are allied to us against the demons.
Yeah,
Devils.
basically.
No, demons, yeah.
But
Devils are
yeah,
good guy, demons bad. Okay, yeah, got
yeah.
it.
Well, they're both evil, but yeah.
Right,
He's just
and who? And I just addressed the tiefling. And who are you?
I am Grand Paladin Soravi of the chapel. I have come here because I heard of the murder of one of our own, and have come to investigate. As he turns and like almost stares down at the at Simone.
Right, right. Listen, I've been put in charge here by Lord Malround. I understand that this is one of your own. How about you wait for me over there? And I just point, like just like on the sidewalk, like on the side or whatever. I examine the scene, and you and I can have a conversation about this. I may need to know who the victim is and everything, but let me inspect the scene first, and we can discuss into more detail about this. If that's okay with you.
Make a persuasion check.
You're gonna fail because you were acting too submissive and breedable.
No, 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 we're not going with that joke. Anyway, he kind of looks at you, gives a huff, and kind of like goes off to stand near the entrance of the alley. As someone is kind of just looking there like she has a slight headache from having to deal with that guy. All right.
Right, well, that was. Oh, that's gonna be annoying and a lot of paperwork. Anyway, why can't you tell me about this? And I point. I just like nod at the corpse.
Now that the guy is gone, you can look at the body. The body is mangled in a familiar way to the bodies on the ship.
Oh, for fuck's sake!
This is brother Zelimir Willinkin. Willikin. Ah, I'm gonna copy and paste that name into the chat too. What? No, not that. There we go. He was found recently, early this morning, and as you can guess from our friend over there, he is a member of the chapel. Um, that is as much as we have so far. We're not quite certain when it happened or how exactly, other than it being related to the bodies on the ship.
Right. Do not touch the body. Do not displace it. Do not do anything with it. Bring some. Send somebody to Lord Malrang. Inform them that it is definitely related to the boat incident at the North Harbor, and we need some cleric to come and cleanse the scene before we can do anything with the body.
Right, as she kind of like snaps to one of the guards to the side, gives him the order, and the guard runs off to basically report. As for what we know, he was a member of the Grand Chapel, near the monastery, not the monastery, but the I'm forgetting the guy. It's getting late.
Cathedral?
Yes, the cathedral. Um, As far as I know and information about him, he seemed to be a pleasant man. Tended to give food to the homeless, things such as that. I was waiting for your arrival to go and question any further members at the chapel.
Right, let's start from the top. Let's go and talk to the Grand Paladin first and see what we can get from him, okay?
Right, him.
All right, make sure that nobody touched this body. I do not want it to move. It could spell disaster.
Right. As you approach the paladin, who is just kind of like standing there, um, looking just visually irritated, as a tall, devilish looking individual can.
Right, Grand Paladin. My name is Athanas. I am, as I said, in charge of this investigation. What can you, sorry, tell us about the victim here?
I gotta pull the names up again. Brother Zelimir is one of the more appreciated individuals of the chapel, and we have come to be very sad to hear of his passing. I have been sent here by the clergy to help make certain that the investigation comes to a what is the word I'm looking for? I've really actually lost the word.
Quick resolution, maybe?
Quick resolution, or a more happy one, like a different word for happy, basically.
I understand.
Joyful.
You don't want
Satisfying.
Yeah, satisfying. That's the word. Um, satisfy ending.
I understand, and I guess you don't want. Nobody wants this story to break out and cause a panic about amongst the clergy or the common people. A paladin being attacked and murdered like this in the street is bad business. What was Brother Zelimir's role in the cathedral, or was he even stationed here, or was he just visiting?
He is stationed here in the city. Yeah, I gotta do a deeper voice for this guy. He is well known among the other clergy. He is a what a person would call a man of the people. He spends a majority of his time in Butcher Row, amongst some of the soup kitchens, dealing with the homeless issues and common rabble of the outer walls, or the outer area.
Right, right. And did he have any known enemies, or even if it was not just him specifically, the church, the cathedral received any valid threat recently?
None that we have not already dealt with.
I understand. This is very strange. So no new threat that would have come up recently, or even old ones that may have come back,
I
or
am probably not the person. I simply have what information I knew of him or have been given to me. My gate, I've received my orders this morning. Perhaps more of the brothers at the chapel would be able to answer your questions.
right, right, and that is actually what I'm gonna do right now. If you don't have any more information, I would appreciate if you could tell your brother not to touch the body before the Inquisition has cleansed the area. It could be related to somebody, to something very dangerous for a lot of people, especially innocent people around here. So if you would indulge this, please, you could get the body after that, but it could be very, as I said, dangerous not only to the church but to all the innocent people living around here as well.
He kind of just looks down at you. I will wait here for your little cleansing to be done and take the body when it is finished.
Appreciate it. And I will just leave and go into the church and talk to the other people in here, the monks or abbot or whomever is in charge, or whomever would be here.
A number of abbots, or monks and priests, kind of. There is a head priest, and there are a number of like sort of friars or monks that kind of deal with some of the other like smaller issues and stuff like that. But just given enough time and with like how much time they would have spent at the archive looking for books, you do eventually find a one brother, Selman, who seems to have been more attached to brother Zelimir.
Right, Brother Salman. What was your relationship with Brother Delimir? Did you know him well?
Yes, we both came into the clergy together, received our training and schooling together as well, and we both were stationed there at the same time. I'm disturbed to hear of his passing.
We all, and we will offer prayer for his soul. Uh, who actually found the body?
I believe it was done just by some. Oh god. Came up with this entire investigation. I didn't even fucking come up with who the fuck found the body. It would have basically just been a random pedestrian. No one of
Okay.
really any note.
So nobody from the church. It would be just.
Yeah, it was
Got it.
basically found by some random person, reported to the guards, and the guards reported it to the Inquisition.
Got it. Right. Did you know of any enemies of Brother Zelmir or any threat that this cathedral received in recent memories?
None that I know of. The brother was loved by many. I know he spent a great deal of time in the Butcher Row, specifically at the it was a soup kitchen referred to as the Charitable Hall. Simple place where the homeless would come for food. I know that it was an important project of his, and he would go there most of his days. I believe last night, the last I knew is he had gone, but he had not returned yet.
Understood. So he went to that soup kitchen last night, you said.
Yes.
All right. Hmm. Have you in the past couple days, do you remember seeing any strange person coming, probably uh, from Zorzer or with a Zorzarian accent?
I mean, other than the individuals from the embassy, I mean, we get a number of different people here at the chapel.
He would have been fairly new. You wouldn't have seen him before, probably, and probably
My
keeping.
friend, this is a large city with a
I
heavy,
understand. I was
this is
just
a heavy port city. We see a number of new people daily.
fishing for maybe a, hope or something. Anyway,
Nothing that stands out.
I understand. And You know what? Thank you for your time, brother. I appreciate it, and hopefully, me and my brothers from the Inquisition can solve this and bring the perpetrator to justice swiftly.
Please see that you do, as he kind of gives you a bow.
I will leave for now, making sure that nobody touches the body and making sure it's like, you know, that the
Yeah, by
incident
the
at the
time
harbor
you
does not
went through
happen.
the by the time you went through the investigation, a Inquisition cleric would have come through and kind of did a ritual of cleansing, which would have got rid of any bad juju,
Yeah,
essentially, and the body would be taken by the paladin.
yeah. And then I will go back to the other Inquisitor to Inquisitor Samovi and tell her, all right, I need to report to Lord Malrang on that. It is definitely connected to the harbor incident. Uh,
Right, but they. I mean, just to point out, you had sent someone with word of what had happened.
that's right, I forgot about that.
So,
Never mind.
yeah, kind of like skipping a whole dialogue
Yeah,
that
yeah,
probably
yeah.
didn't need to happen.
Yeah, yeah, no problem. And yeah, we'll just tell her like, all right, so from what I've gathered, we are probably looking from somebody from Zorzer or Terabad. So you know what? Maybe you should go to their embassy and see if they heard of any new arrival from somebody from Zorzer, anything like that. And I will go on and pursue new lead on my own.
Got it. And she kind of turns and leaves, heading down towards the Zorzer embassy.
And I'm going to make my way to the archives to meet the rest of the group.
All right. Yeah, at this point, you guys would have been just leaving the archives, heading kind of like probably out of the area, and you would have met on the road. So you are now back together.
Hey guys, so how did your search of the archives go?
We got
That
we got what I think what Josiah was looking for. I can't
Yep.
what?
Sorry, I stepped away for a second.
I can't
We took a long time to get in.
not as long to get out.
Like a long time. Oh, that's true.
Yeah, we had to fill out paperwork, which I'm not a
Yeah.
fan of. Um, I mean, you know, I always made you fill out our Inquisition stuff.
I know, you did, yeah. Anyway,
I actually almost said it out, but it's. Uh, well, I guess it wouldn't have mattered if I had snuck those books out or not, since they didn't even search you guys on the way out.
There might have been something, but regardless, we got what we needed.
So, should we go see our ogreish friend?
I mean, didn't he say, as you said, it was for the soul of the city, so and for coin. That is
He
good.
did say it was for coin. You're right.
Listen, before we go anywhere, and I just look around to make sure like nobody can, listen or push them in
Yeah, you
like
guys
on
kind of like
fire
go
or
off
anything
to
else.
like a side area where there's not really like any busy.
Like, you know that the body I went to investigate,
Yes.
definite, definitely related to the incident in the harbor. It was crushed and torn apart the same way as the bodies on the ship.
Oh, what the fuck is going on in this city?
Well, I can definitely say for sure that there is probably a necromancer and probably a follower of Vecna who is, and I just look at Eddie when I say.
Uh,
But don't worry, Eddie. The whole city and the whole Inquisition is looking for that guy, so won't be long before we catch him. You'll be fine.
Might not be a guy.
Whomever it is, he will be caught by the Inquisition. You'll be fine. Don't worry.
Should we go see Volto? Or Volko?
I think we should. I need some coin. I'm a little bit short.
Alright. Oh, Josiah, you'll love this guy.
I will if he's as interesting as you are.
Okay, maybe you won't love this guy.
Josiah's seen some shit today.
Hey, I did warn him.
Yeah.
That you don't.
Yeah. I'd say by the time all of this comes together, it's probably getting close to noon. But you do make your way to the Gold Cliffs, to the manor house of Guildmaster Volko Hughes. As you enter, the butler answers the door, leads you down a hall to a large, not a study, but he leads you to what looks to be maybe a workshop of some kind. You see along the walls there's all sorts of schematics for different ships, as Volko had been a guildmaster of a shipbuilding company. Forgetting the actual name of what they are referred to. Is it Wainwright? Wait, something right? Yeah, anyway. Volko is currently at a desk building what looks to be maybe some sort of model of a wooden ship of some kind, like one that would be used at a construction company for builders to actually get a better look at like what they're building as they are building it. As you enter and he looks up, wonderful. I'm glad to see you have come. He kind of puts his tools down. I was hoping you would come. I have a business arrangement I would like to discuss with you. Please sit as he kind of gestures to a corner of the room that kind of looks like there's like a small couch and sitting area set up for just in case he has company here. So how are you all doing? Enjoying the city, I hope?
One of our friends got killed here, so I can't say it's been great.
Again.
Yeah, it's a different friend.
I am sorry to hear that. My condolences. But I do have a proposition for you. Sit. You guys take a seat. Right. I don't know how long you've been in the city or how familiar you have come to the political structure of how the city runs. But what I am proposing is a investigation of sorts, and well, less investigation and more snooping around one of the other prominent guild members of the city, a individual referred to as Martin Rift. I'll copy and paste that name. Rift or Rift? Probably Rift. Yeah. You see, the city itself is run by a guild council from its founding. There are 6 members on this council, and at the head of the council is a Lord Regent who is responsible for making sure that imperial interests are kept within the guild business. Recently, over the past couple of years, the council has decided to have a new seat imposed, to have a new member added. Myself and this individual, Martin, uh, are the last two candidates left for this seat. The reason that I am calling you here has to do with some of the bad business we ran into on the road with the assassination attempt. I believe the assassination was staged by Martin as an attempt to get rid of me so that he could take this seat. The reason I am concerned, foremost, for this is that, well, the majority of us in the city, I myself have a history here. I myself have a 50-year history as a shipbuilder here. Martin came in only a few years ago, less than a decade ago, and has seemed to move up the political ladder rather quickly, even becoming quite friendly with the local Lord Inquisitor, Oraldo Borsa. Uh, and he has recently, I've recently gained some information from an ally that he has purchased a warehouse in the East Harbor district, and that sometime tomorrow evening he is going to be receiving a shipment that is not on the books. Um, I should, I would say. Um, my goal here is to perhaps find some evidence of Martin's more illicit activities, perhaps something, if not related to the assassination, some other business. If this is something he wants to bring into the city that is off the papers, that just seems rather sketchy. What I want you to do is try to investigate this, or snoop around, if you will. See if you can bring me any proof so that I may build a case for the council against him. In the opinion so far? Do you guys get all that?
Type of
Yeah.
information
We're still
do you require?
processing.
Yep. So big political scandal, apparently.
What? Like, I get it, but what do
Okay.
you want us to do about it?
Well, I simply want you to go to this warehouse and figure out what he is shipping into the city. If it is not on the papers, that means that it is likely something that is not legal within the city, or perhaps even the empire itself. I I really only need to find evidence against this man.
You
Okay,
need
so
dirt.
I just want to tell you something. Um, I think we'll probably help you with this. I don't see any reason why we wouldn't. But my gods, man, this is not something that you can claim is life or death, the soul of the city.
One moment, if you will. Please come with me. As he kind of takes you off to the side and he points out of a window. His home is somewhere up here. He points you sort of in the western area. Do you see this district down there? The locals call it the stacks. As you see what looks to be a heavy sort of industrial region with a lot of like basically smokestacks.
Yes, I
This
see him.
is the work of Martin. This is what he would like to turn our entire city into.
So he wants to bring the city into the future. I mean,
You say it is the future, but you do not see the people down there hurting. The people in those factories are working more hours than they should. They are working themselves to death. On the average day, nearly 20 bodies are dragged from those stacks. 20 people dying a day. And so far, this has been swept under the carpet by Martin and his financial and his political um, friends. He wishes to bring death to our city. I am trying to stop it. I want to rebuild the Plague Street to get rid of the destruction that is happening here. This is what I mean when I say the soul of the city.
And there was something else that was mentioned besides the soul of the city.
The coin.
The coin.
Yes. I will offer you, if you can bring me positive proof, 3,000 gold pieces for doing this. This is a simply get in. I would ask, preferably that you not get caught in the process, or in any way tie my name to this, as I don't wish to give Martin a heads up of what I am doing.
Allow me a moment to confer with my friends over the price, if you would.
Certainly. And he kind of like steps away and goes back to like his desk.
The offer was
They giving you a little.
the offer was 3,000 gold. I don't know. Does that sound good?
Hmm. I think we can probably get more out of it. I mean, if we are successful, he gets a seat at the council. So, and it's a pretty big risk for us. If we get caught, it's not good.
We've become quite greedy, haven't we?
Hey, Yarod, don't you like to buy pretty things with that gold? Don't you like to buy pretty things for Sorogva as well?
But I can buy pretty things when we're getting paid anyway.
Right, but
And
you
let's
can
be
buy.
real, Sorogva, and not neither Sorogva or me need pretty things to look pretty. So it's okay.
Honestly, with him putting it into perspective, I don't know that we really need to push for more money. I think that this seems like a good cause. And honestly, I mean, if we're just gathering some information, I mean, hell, if I didn't need money to eat, I would probably just do it for free. So let's just accept the 3,000.
I mean, I
I
was
think
just
that's
thinking we could
fair.
get some more gold, but if the party agrees, then I'm fine with it. It's just like, do we really want to be involved into city politics when we have other important things to do as well?
That is true. We're worried about Eddie. Is this gonna deviate us?
This does seem like. Well, who are we to judge? Maybe there's more going on here. This job shouldn't be too hard, and I mean, once we're done with it, if there's, nothing else going on, we can just wash our hands with it and take the money and leave.
I mean, if we are just looking for information, you know, but how hard are we going to look for it though? That's the question.
I mean, I don't know. I haven't even seen the warehouse yet. We'll have to, we'll have to bridge that gap when we get there.
Cool. You know what? Let's agree to the 3,000. Let's appraise the situation. Let's go there, see what's really going on for ourselves, and then we can decide whether or not it is worth our time.
Alright, I can agree to that.
And obviously, our number one priority should still remain to help Eddie with her problem.
Well,
Thank you.
we absolutely are gonna help you, Eddie, but it may be a little bit before we can go through the teleportation circle.
That is true. But we are definitely helping Eddie. We are not leaving her with that thing in her.
Yes, we should be with him. Support him in this time.
Right. Well,
Okay.
let's tell Master Hugh that we agree to his price and get on our way.
You inform Master Hughes and gives you a shake, a handshake to close the agreement for the 3,000 gold. Inform you that the shipment does come in the next evening. So not the current evening, but the next evening. There will be some sort of shipment. You all leave the Golden Cliffs, head back into the city to deal with whatever business you have left to settle, and we will leave it there for tonight. Y'all got a bunch of quests.
Awesome.
Tonight was the
Yeah.
one where I was just filling up your quest log.
That is, yeah, pretty much what happened.
Oh yeah.
Stop at the camp and get all the quests.
Yep. How's